our presence, we are going to give women in business briefly. You know, there is nothing as beautiful as Mosadi or Swiper Chelta How. I want this same time. So we are going to talk about the importance you have your own things. Yes, we encourage marriage, but the day the chicken, that's my car. Go back home. That's my house. You understand? So the importance of building your own brand, your own business. Do not lose yourself in marriage or in any situation. I think into that I've been saying since we started. Anything else, divorce, marriage, children, whatever, Kiddy plus. Who you are will stay with you forever. Let us welcome our wonderful woman. You're welcome, Mami. She is going to talk all things business. DJ, we don't need a song for this one. You're welcome, Mami.
Thank you. Dumelang bomme, le bontate ke ba bona dumelang. Ke nna Olga Mkhize. I was born and raised Kotiklufu. I am a child of God. Ke phulositswe po. Ke rata Jesu ra. Ke go heaven he. I am a mother and a mother in waiting. I'm a wife to the most handsome young man in the world, Umkhize covers the Luqwa. And I'm an entrepreneur. I help women especially who want to tell their story in a book form, write a book and publish it in a space of 90 days, if they are willing to work. So, I'm an author of these 3 books, and I published them myself. And it wasn't easy. I started writing my first book, Mother in Waiting, in 2015, when I left corporate, and I started writing this book. This is a book of a woman, a wife, who is married and unable to have children. That's why I'm a mother in waiting. So how to find joy as a wife in spite of struggling to have children. Because many wives who are struggling, they shrivel kind of, you know, they out there and say, infertility is not a woman thing. It's a problem a couple. It has got nothing to do with a woman. Because 40% you'll find that it's a man, onaling matata, 40% could be the woman, 20% could be other factors, you know. So, mother in waiting, it was a cruel season of non-conception, dashed hopes, heart-wrenching blows of multiple miscarriages, 2 ectopic pregnancies, and add to that an abusive husband, insensitive friends, and societal unkindness. So this book, I was intentional because I wanted every woman, whether to have it, especially those who have children, so that you begin to appreciate the grace of God upon you and not look down on those by the word they can't and call them names, what happened to them. Okay, so this is like a minister to every woman, and it also can speak to that single woman who is not married. You being single does not minimize you in any way, any shape, or any form. You know. So this book says to me, "Purpose is not to come and pop babies. There's more to me than having children. If I awesome, life goes on. There's more to me than having children. If they do come, awesome. And Linda is a minister, yeah, Sasa Junior. So, Kelly Sasa Junior, so I've never given birth to a child. My children died in the womb. But I am not going to go to the grave, because I know the one who promised is faithful. Okay? And I want to say to somebody, there are no ticking biological clocks. It's a Babylonian system. And people go ahead of God and go and have children. Hey, the biological clock is ticking. Who told you? So, also Amen. Also be 90 years, chill. Your children are coming. Your husband is coming. But chill. So, the other book that I wrote, which I'm very passionate about, here, Endometriosis, a Silent Pandemic. People don't know that endometriosis is a demon that affects women from a very, very, very young age. Period pains. Never ever make the mistake of normalizing period pains. Wrong. I started having period pains from day one of my menstrual cycle, nearly 13 years old. But the pain was progressive and aggressive. And then Nail stories are baguette, metzebilang, onion, garlic, shala, steamer, essence of life, harmans, and what. But I was suffering and nobody understood. And people were just saying, no man, toughen up, this thing happens to all women. Strong. But it was not getting better, it was getting worse. So I got married when I was 23, and 3 years now what's wrong? And I'm like 26, 27. I'm sick, I'm bleeding for like 2 months, non-stop, big clots, I'm anemic, I'm about to die. So a friend, I'm a gynecologist when I get the baraginal stage 4 endometriosis and bilateral ovarian cysts. So those tubes were bansari cysti and then endobazamahui inter, and then I could conceive, but then every conception was followed by a miscarriage because even the quality of the DNA in my eggs was affected by endometriosis. So what I'm saying, endometriosis, just briefly before I leave the platform, inside the womb of every woman there's a lining. And that lining, it thickens every month and then it breaks if there was no pregnancy. And then you've got your menstrual cycle. But then a similar tissue to that one grows out of the womb. And then it does exactly the same thing the one in the womb does. It also thickens and then it breaks. And it can sit anywhere in your organs. It can sit on your lungs. It can sit on your fallopian tubes, on your rectum, on your intestines, anywhere. It can sit anywhere. And so when you're bleeding every month, you're also bleeding where the tissue is. But the blood outside the womb does not have an outlet. It stays in your body. That's how hectic it is. And you know, I'm big on advocating for women's reproductive health because our government is failing us. There's no endometriosis clinic. Some nurses don't even know what that is. But if you take your 14-year-old, 13-year-old there, what they'll do, they'll move the oral contraceptives. And those things, they temper evenly growth because usangana develop. Or brittle bones, it affects even the bone density. So endometriosis, it is in every household where there are girl children. When I was no panado, no and my mom didn't know that at age 27 I would be diagnosed with stage 4 endometriosis, meaning that my whole reproductive system was messed up, and hence the infertility. So now when people marry what you have been up against. If you've got endometriosis, you bleed as if blood out of one person. And the symptoms are pelvic pain. Mara people differ. The symptoms they differ. Pelvic pain, for me it was also shoulder pain because I had a little bit of that tissue in my lungs. So every month when I was bleeding there, I was bleeding in my lungs. So I had shortness of breath, a nasty cough, and then ke kgwamadi. Okay? And I also, it was sitting on my intestines, bowel syndrome, and diarrhea, it was severe. And also constipation happened after, but bloating and diarrhea was the order of the day. Migraine headache, chronic fatigue that you cannot explain. When you sit down, your body just like ngarwashwa, and people not understanding, and as a result, you become antisocial.